Today, over 30,000 children and young adults are suffering from cystic fibrosis in America. With this many young adults in our country suffering from cystic fibrosis, the support from Live for a Cure makes a huge impact in the lives of many. With that being said, it becomes a necessity that our nation help support the Live for a Cure organization. I'm going to talk about Live for a Cure and its purpose. Then I will tell you why Live for a Cure could greatly benefit from a donation and how such donation could make a difference for this organization and the effects Live for a Cure has on the families suffering from cystic fibrosis. During this time, I'm going to speak about the Live for a Cure organization and all that it does for the families with members suffering from cystic fibrosis. Live for a Cure is a nonprofit organization designed to raise money to help with cystic fibrosis research and also to help support the families who are suffering from this disease. Cystic fibrosis is a life-threatening genetic disease that causes persistent lung infections and progressively limits the ability to breathe. Live for a Cure is now recognized as a public charity. This nonprofit organization donates 99% of every dollar to help find a cure for cystic fibrosis. Live for a Cure's motto is to invest in research and buy back life. Live for a Cure organizes many fundraisers that help raise money to aid research for finding a cure. The organization's mission statement is a foundation dedicated to raising funds which will be directed towards raising awareness about cystic fibrosis and funding research in the medical care and treatment of persons who suffer from cystic fibrosis. As we proceed, I'm going to begin to explain to you what cystic fibrosis actually is. Cystic fibrosis is an inherited disease of the mucus and sweat glands. This disease can affect an individual's liver, pancreas, lungs, reproductive organs, and intestines, and sometimes even the individual's sinuses. According to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, if you have cystic fibrosis, your mucus becomes thick and sticky. It builds up in your lungs and blocks your airways. The buildup of mucus makes it easy for bacteria to grow. This leads to repeated serious lung infections. Over time, these infections can severely damage your lungs. Cystic fibrosis can also create many difficulties for women trying to get pregnant and can also lead to infertility in men. People with cystic fibrosis have a variety of symptoms, including very salty tasting skin, persistent coughing, and at times coughing with phlegm, frequent lung infections, including pneumonia or bronchitis, wheezing or shortness of breath, poor growth or weight gain in spite of a good appetite, frequent greasy, bulky stools, or difficulty with bowel movements. Moving forward, I will begin to tell you why this organization could benefit extremely from donations and the difference that donations could make for Live for a Cure. Lisa Tomasetti, the president of Live for a Cure, stated on the organization's website that this foundation is working with the Cystic Fibrosis Center at Children's Memorial Hospital to provide funding for research in hopes of finding a cure and to provide a better quality of life while they fight this disease. All funds donated to Live for a Cure will fund research at the Pulmonary Teaching and Research Program at Children's Memorial Hospital. Doctors and specialists are constantly looking for cures and creating new treatments to help the young victims of this awful disease. Lisa also mentioned that new drug treatments are being tested to improve the length and quality of life of people with cystic fibrosis. We have a long way to go and need your sponsorship, your donations, and your investments in life. Some of these treatments that have evolved prevent and control lung infections, loosening and removing thick, sticky mucus from the lungs, preventing or treating blockages in the intestines, providing enough nutrition, and even preventing dehydration. All in all, making a donation to Live for a Cure could result in a huge impact in the lives of all of those suffering from cystic fibrosis day in and day out. Now that I have covered the purpose of the Live for the Cure organization, explained to you what cystic fibrosis is, and the effect this nonprofit organization has made in many lives, with over 30,000 young adults and children in our country suffering from cystic fibrosis, the support from Live for a Cure makes a huge impact in the lives of many. With that being said, it becomes a necessity that our nation help support the Live for a Cure organization.
What is the life expectancy for those suffering from cystic fibrosis?
The life expectancy for those suffering from cystic fibrosis is about 37 years for those who even make it to adulthood.
How are the lives of those with cystic fibrosis different?
The lives of those suffering from cystic fibrosis are different in many ways, but some of these ways are that they spend most of their time in bed or in chairs, which make it easier for them to breathe, and they spend more time in the hospital than they do out, and they are normally unable to have children.
What are some treatments for cystic fibrosis?
Some of the treatments for cystic fibrosis help to prevent mucus buildup, prevent blockage from intestines, provide nutrition, and also prevent dehydration.